43rd U.S. President George Bush, a Republican, congratulated President-elect Joe Biden for his victory. George W. Bush, presidential center, posted an optimistic message on Twitter in which Bush praised Biden and wished him success. He also congratulated outgoing President Donald Trump for a tough fight. He pointed out that Trump has the right to request recounts and pursue legal challenges, but the American people have confidence that the election was fair. In 2000, Republican George Bush was leading in Florida by 500 votes. The matter was settled in a court which rejected a recount and announced the decision in favor of Bush. He has largely stayed out of politics since leaving office in 2009. Now, Simon Marks joins us live from Washington, D.C. for more on this. Good evening to you, Simon. Thank you for being with us. Now, Joe Biden has given a speech, not, of course, his official acceptance speech, but a speech calling for unity of all Americans. But he is taking over at a time of crisis on a number of fronts. Let's start with the economic crisis that he takes over.
Yes, absolutely. No question about that. I mean, Joe Biden very much planning to take over, although Donald Trump in that building, the White House behind me, very much digging into that. I don't know if you can see it, but just over in the corner of the picture right there, there's a crane that has moved onto the grounds of the White House. I'm not sure if it's on the grounds or just outside it to do some kind of building and construction work that is creating all sorts of metaphors about whether the crane has arrived to remove the president from the building. Of course, it's not going to do that, but Joe Biden really trying to demonstrate through his actions over the next few hours that he is preparing to govern and preparing to deal with that economic issue as quickly as possible. He has long argued you cannot possibly restore the U.S. economy to prosperity unless you find a way of controlling the spread of COVID-19. So at the moment, he's talking to potential members of his COVID-19 advisory task force, and we think that they will be publicly unveiled today, and they may include a son of Indian parents, Dr. Vivek Murthy, who is a former Surgeon General and is expected to head Joe Biden's coronavirus task force team, which will be a hugely prominent role for Dr. Murthy, whose parents moved to the UK initially, and then he made his way here to the United States. But strong ties to India in that appointment if it goes ahead. Right. Now, as you mentioned, his coronavirus task force, this is already, he's already setting this up. He's made moves on his promises to restore membership of the U.S. in the Paris Climate Agreement. Is this a politician who is making good on his promises? Well, he wants to make good on his promises, but I think the real question is whether he's going to be able to. So if you take a look, for example, at his pledge to return to membership of the World Health Organization, in order to do that and to spend money on the World Health Organization, America's membership fees, he will need support on Capitol Hill. And at the moment, the outcome of the race to control the Senate is unclear and will remain unclear until January, when there are two runoff elections in Georgia. There are many things Joe Biden can do through executive orders. Taking the country back into the Paris climate change accords may be possible. I think reigniting the Iran nuclear deal is going to be very, very difficult without the situation in Congress moving in his direction and giving him some kind of reliable majority to count on there, which now looks very, very unlikely. So Joe Biden faces all sorts of challenges, I think, in the weeks ahead as he puts his government together and prepares to govern. And the biggest short-term challenge he faces is the man who's in that building there. Absolutely. It's Donald Trump, not phoning up to congratulate Joe Biden, not conceding, and now we're told preparing to address rallies all over the country in a bid to energize his supporters and get them fired up over what he insists is an election that's being stolen from him.
Yeah, in the past we have seen some really powerful concession speeches that legitimize the new incumbent. Now, Donald Trump, as you say, is still refusing to admit defeat. He's planning on filing a string of lawsuits, according to his lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, who says that they have a lot of evidence of fraud, but we have not seen any evidence at all. What are the options available to Trump now?
Well, I think you just used a hugely important word, Alison, when you talked about past concession speeches legitimizing the incoming president of the United States. Donald Trump clearly has no intention of legitimizing Joe Biden. Indeed, you could argue that for months he's been laying the groundwork to ensure that if he lost this election, he would then tell his supporters that his successor was illegitimately occupying the White House. And that certainly seems to be the path President Trump is on, even if he has no luck in the courts. Now, the campaign is going back into court today in a whole variety of states. They insist that they have affidavits proving that votes were illegally cast. The president is reportedly preparing to tell supporters to go to rallies and read out the obituaries of people from newspapers who, according to the Trump campaign, were able to cast votes in the election even though they are deceased. But it's far from clear that while there may have been the odd issue here and there, that there are the tens of thousands of votes out there to be overturned that could allow Donald Trump to move past Joe Biden's advantage statistically as these vote counts continue. So he's on, the possibility of overturning this election result seems at the moment impossible. He keeps losing in court. He hasn't won a round in court yet. And yet, according to White House insiders, he is absolutely determined to tough this out all the way until Christmas at the earliest. And there are reports here that he's already decided that he won't attend Joe Biden's inauguration if and when it happens. I think it's when rather than if, on January the 20th of 2021.
Right. Simon, thank you very much for bringing us all the latest out of Washington.